Okay, I think the bump map is much too big here. Let's go into the bump map here and um, let's go into the hypershade there and clear this and map that. And let's see, let's go to this bump node, and the bump depth is 0.25, so it looks like you adjusted it, but it still looks too big. Um, that is much, much, much more subtle. Even that is, and there's just a lot of weird spirally stuff on here. Just clear that like that. And again, yeah. So just much, much less deep because that was. It's also shiny. Um, I would definitely decrease the specular if it's supposed to be, money. So all your bump maps are too deep, and it's a bit weird how this is like a shirt hanging over there. I would have probably connected the hands to the arms. I went over some modeling stuff, I believe, in the last module, and it doesn't. I think there's some definite modeling things you need to update. Let's take a look back. I'll just check that. Let's see. So this is module 6 we're talking about, the UV maps. And where is your character? Is this it? Um, okay, let's take a look at the model first. Hands, different angles. Make sure. Yeah, I mentioned the hands thing. There's really no need to have done this extra poly smooth here, dense, and then same. So you had it smooth, and it looks like you've really unsmoothed it. It just looks like really. But then you didn't kind of adjust because now it's like, like definitely there's not enough loops in here, so you should have at least one or more two, and then kind of shape those. And then I would have this connected here. If it's supposed to be wrapped like a mummy, it makes to me that should be one continuous, surface instead of split there. And of course, and this is way too indented. That looks really weird how the top of the waist goes way in like that. So I think you're going to want to flatten that out by pulling those points back at least. But I would merge these two together. I would kind of terminate some of these edge loops. I can't remember if I went over that here. Um, I don't think so. But what you'll have to do is like take a look at display, heads up display, poly count. That's 26. That's quite a lot. And this is 12. So you'll have to go around and reduce these. Although before you do that, I would straighten these out because okay, and anyway, I think this needs a lot more attention than that, but that looks pretty crazy. It's a little bit better. So now you'll have to terminate a lot of these edge loops. So the way we do that, I mean, you could probably use one more edge loop in here too. And maybe shape that a little bit more. But anyways, the main point was I was going to show you how to terminate these edge loops. So let's turn symmetry on to speed up this process. Control Shift X. And I'll start here. I'll cross over two faces. Oops. That's a little confusing. Let's try that again. Wait, symmetry is not working right. Great. Let's delete half of this. Um, yeah. Oh wow, there's some. Okay. Let's make sure I got that half, and then I'll take these verts, just the ones along that center line, and then make sure those are. Yeah, I would spread these out a little bit. Those are awfully close together. Um, and then make sure these are centered. I'll just make sure the absolute transform 0 in the x direction. Oh, wow, were those not centered? Is this whole model off-centered? Oh my god, the whole model is off-centered? How did that happen? I'm gonna, so before I do that, I'm gonna move this, D for pivot move mode, and then let's just snap it to like this point here, V for point snap, and then I'll click on the X arrow. Let's turn off pivot move mode, click on the X and hold down the X key to snap it to the grid. Whoops, we just want to snap it in this one direction. There we go. Then I'll make sure that these are along the center line. Just those. 0 in the X direction. Okay, they think they were. And then object shift right mouse click, mirror options, cut geometry is off, combine with virtual is on, custom 0.001 mirror. Okay, so hopefully that'll work now. Now we can start reducing these. Control shift W left mouse click, symmetry, symmetry, control shift X for multi-cut 2, and wow, it's still not working. That's really weird. Can't explain it. Anyways, so we'll just have to go do it more times. So crossover 2 and crossover 2 here, and then do these 2, and then delete these. Shift right mouse click, delete edge, and then you'll just repeat that all the way around. So once again, crossover 2, and then crossover 2, enter, and then attach these 2 together, and then select these, and then shift right mouse click, delete edge. And now do it here. Shift right mouse click, delete edge, otherwise it'll leave a bunch of extra vertices around. Do it over here. You need to get your whole model centered on the origin. I don't know how it ended up off. Okay, let's see what we're up to now. That's 18, and we want to get to what? 12. Well, okay. This is going to be close. Let's see. Shift right mouse click, delete edge. Okay, let's see what we're up to now. 14. So how do we get rid of one more? That's where you can also look at this and say does this need any more detail anywhere? Actually, it kind of does, because this back really lacks detail there. What happens if I do this? So it only goes up to there, which isn't great. Why is that? Oh, you've got an extra point right here. But I would say you probably need another loop there anyway. And I would shape that a little bit. Looks like you had something there and maybe you deleted it at one point. But I would give this more shape. But anyways, let's see. Okay, now it's only going up to there again because you have these stray verts all over the place. Okay. Oh, there's another one. Wow, that one doesn't want to go away. Oh, is there like... Oh, okay, these are not joined together, so there's another issue. Edit mesh, merge to center, and now I should be able to delete that one. Okay, alright. Let's add that back in. Will it let me do symmetry now? Oh, goody. And then I wouldn't stop there. I would then sculpt the back so it looks like something. Right now it doesn't look like the back that much. So, but that gets us up to 14 there and 14 here. And then we can do mesh combine and then select these two edges and bridge, shift right mouse click bridge. And yeah, and then you'll want to go in and touch that up. I might use the surfaces, sculpt geometry tool options, turn on smooth here, and under stroke turn on reflection, and hold down B, click and drag to change the brush size. And why is it not working? Maybe because I'm not in object mode. Oh, there we go. So that will help kind of get these. It's just a starting point. It's not. You'll still have to go in and actually push and pull points around, but sometimes this can do some of the work for you. Yeah, you'll need to go in and push and pull some points to get that looking seamless. But it just, to me, it should be seamless because it's like he's supposed to be wrapped up. It's not like he has a shirt and pants on. But that'll obviously screw up your texture now. Because that part's not UV mapped. So that's just kind of taking a couple steps back if you want to fix the model at this point. So I guess that's up to you. But I just thought it looked weird, and I thought you should know. Yeah, about painting your head in Mudbox, I'm not really sure. Yeah, and still, I mentioned, the modeling issues with this. There's definitely, we talked in the last module about being very wedge shaped and about you having added, every time you add an edge, you're supposed to move the points that you've added. You're not supposed to just leave them where they are. There's no point in that. You don't, like all these edges, it's that you did around the lips, it looks like you added all these edges and you didn't move any of the points. And it's like, well, don't add the edge. Like if you're not gonna, like, you see how the surface doesn't change its shape at all when I delete that? It stays almost exactly the same because you just added a bunch of edges and didn't. You're supposed to move the points every time you add an edge, and not just leave them where they are. Each point. And so, but it's really hard to do now because there's so many edges. So what I would do is delete half, 2/3 of these, and then shape it, and then start one at a time, add the edges back in, and adjust each point every time you add an edge. It's just hard to do now that it's so dense. But yeah, I'm not sure why you were having trouble in Mudbox. Usually it's because there's geometry problems. Like we could take a look at this, right mouse click face, select, use constraints, turn on next selection, and sided, see if there's any so yeah, there's a few things. Like, this is a many-sided face, so you'd kind of want to resolve that. And also, it looks like you need some more geometry back here. Anyways, you got, that's not so great. Yeah, there's a lot of messed up geometry on the back of the head. So I think that could be why you're having a problem in Mudbox. But it might not be, I don't know. But what I would say, yeah, I would try to fix this geometry on the back of the head. I mean, there's just a lot to do here. Why does it go up like that? That's really weird. I think because of the way you terminated these. But now there's this hugely stretched out faces there, which I mean, I guess it's not that big of a deal since it's covered with hair, but if you're having a problem with importing it to Mudbox, it could be because of those geometry issues. And again, I would have connected the neck with the body and all that. But yeah, I would say if you fix some of those geometry issues and you're still not able to go into Mudbox, I would just say paint the textures in Photoshop.